Cancel.
Schweezy.
First article we got here is from Variety. Frank Ocean pulls out of Coachella weekend 2. I made sure to wear the Frank Ocean shirt today for those watching. It's a little faded and dark. It's just faded. It's very faded because I've been wearing it a lot. And your mom's been wearing it a lot. Ho!
What'd you say? He too did fucked up.
We got that. And it was I'm wearing the Frank shirt today, and I've wanted to talk about this. Frank Ocean will not be performing his scheduled headlining slot at Coachella this Sunday, a rep for the singer confirms to Variety. A source close to the situation says his spot will be taken by Blink-182. The statement reads, Frank Ocean will not be performing at weekend 2 of Coachella. After suffering an injury to his leg on festival grounds in the week leading up to weekend 1, Frank Ocean was unable to perform the intended show but was still intent on performing, and in 72 hours the show was reworked out of necessity. On doctor's advice, Ocean is not able to perform weekend 2 due to 2 fractured and sprain in his left leg. The note concludes with the statement from Ocean, it was chaotic. There is some beauty in chaos. It isn't what I intended to show, but I did enjoy being out there, and I'll see you soon. Frank Ocean. The news comes after days of uproar around Ocean's polarizing set during the festival's first weekend, which was solid, if uneven musically, but marred by major production issues. An elaborate performance involving an ice rink and dozens of skaters was planned, but suddenly called off, while multiple sources say the big production was abruptly canceled on Sunday, just hours before Ocean's performance was to begin. Because the singer decided he didn't want to do it, the statement says that if it was called off because of an ankle injury he'd suffered earlier in the week. While recordings of the concert, which was not live streamed unlike most of the set during the festival, showed that the performed innovative new arrangement of several of his songs, overall the energy was low. He and the band were obscured by a battery of people walking in a circle around the stage, a revision of the original plan to have him surrounded by ice skaters, and pacing was bizarre. A seemingly random DJ set was dropped into the middle, leading many fans to think his performance was over. It also started an hour late, which sources say was due to the last-minute production change. The original lineup of Blink-182 were surprise performers on the festival's first weekend, making their first appearance together since singer and guitarist Tom DeLonge left the band in 2014. The band wasted no time re-embracing the juvenile, fun, ridiculous, double-time punk pop that made them break through radio stars in the late 90s and early aughts. Variety reviews say the band shared the same jackass-style ease they did 20 years ago in their prime, with DeLonge and bassist Mark Hoppus cracking wise about genitals, the Dalai Lama, and UTIs as they blasted through their set. Although drummer Travis Barker hurt a finger earlier this year, forcing the postponement of the band's tour, there was no sign of injury here. His playing felt crisp and precise, and the band felt tight and rehearsed. The review adds, while fans hope to see what would have been the Ocean's second concert since 2017, may be disappointed. Coachella 2023 is still likely to end with a bang. So before I get into anything, Frank Ocean's one of my favorite artists. I have to say Blonde is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. It was his original mixtape. What was his original mixtape called? I have to look that up. Frank Ocean mixtape. Is a Nostalgia Ultra. That's the name of it. I can't believe I forgot the name. But yeah, no, I thought it was Nostalgia Ultra. It was probably my favorite Frank Ocean album. And then Blonde. I feel like Blonde probably surpassed that. It's probably on my top 10 favorite albums of all time. Which, that I do like to say that list always is changing. Which is weird to say. Some of them are very constants on there. Blonde has been a constant on there. Forget Not Slowed Down has been a constant on there. But trying to think of other ones. So, yeah. One of my favorite albums of all time. So I'm a Frank Ocean fan. And I also fucking love Blink-182 too. So it seems like a perfect transition for me. But yeah, Frank Ocean doesn't go out a lot. This is probably his first, since Blonde came out, he's probably done two or three shows, probably, I would say. Probably 2 or 3 shows. And that's probably in their last 7 years. Part of me wonders about him financially, but I don't know about him. We find Frank Ocean selling drugs, so he can just be weird all the time. And, I'm starting to think that Frank Ocean is weird, but he's smart. He doesn't go to social media. He doesn't use social media. I think I follow him on Instagram, but he'll post the most random shit. And then Frank Ocean there. Where am I going? He doesn't play a lot. He doesn't go out a lot. And so you don't hear him. But Garth goes out a lot, and he's on social media a lot. So maybe Frank Ocean is like Garth. And that would really scare me.
That's rough, buddy.
But anyways, but part of me is like, I heard he was canceling. I'm like, that fucking feels like Frank Ocean canceling. And I heard I remember hearing the rumor at first saying he didn't want to play it. The one that was hours before the set, like I learned about it like 2 or 3 days before it was actually announced. And I just thought Frank Ocean just quit. And he was like, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, Frank, you don't. And because I remember it was back early 2020 when he was announced for Coachella. I was like, I'm probably gonna like make my way out to California for Coachella, and just to see Frank Ocean. I'm like, I'd rather not go to a music, because I usually don't want to go to a music festival unless I'm playing at said music festival. That's a me thing. It's a weird artist thing. You're like, if you want to be at that festival, you got to be playing there. It's called discipline. So it was like that. And then I was just imagining like someone spent like all their life savings to see you live. And I was like, you're going to cancel like near the last minute. I'm like, come on, Frank. Like that is just, I don't know. It's a horrible thing as an artist to do. But then he hurt his ankle, which is also weird. Like I know they're making a really complicated set, which is not, I don't know. I'm a big fan of just like keep your set simple. I always even hate lights. Like, it's just as long as it's bright and people can see me, that's all I care. That's all I really care. I don't like these changing lights and light shows and shit like that. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes I just rather see someone play music and perform music. The elaborate set, some say about that, but if he like hurt his ankle, I'm just saying, I don't know if Frank was like playing keyboards or anything. I don't know what he probably play everything. Maybe it's like guitars and stuff, maybe. But I've never really seen him even be one to like play guitar on stage. So questionable even there at that point. So I'm like, I don't know, if you broke your ankle, I'm like, I guess you went to the doctor and shit like that. You got a cast or whatever. You should be able to sit on a stool or some shit and still perform. I know you can't do dances or whatever. I'm like, but people still want to see you play music. So I think a broken leg is just not a good deal. And Frank's like, oh, Frank is burnt out from doing too many shows. I don't think COVID was going to stop him from not coming out until 2023. Okay, like at this point, I don't even think Frank Ocean is real at this point in life. People say they see him out in public. I'm more inclined to believe that Frank Ocean is a ghost, and somehow this ghost was seen by a couple people at a record label, and after they pointed out to him, then he came out. I don't know the lore behind ghosts in this universe. I'm sorry, but for real, like I don't think Frank Ocean. I'm starting to believe Frank Ocean is not a real person. He's like, he worked at a Subway. I'm like, ghost can work at Subway? That's not a big deal. But anyways, nevertheless, he persisted.
Thank you for watching this clip.